NFL blockbuster trade. Russell Wilson got traded to the Denver Broncos, and I'd like to just read off the list of things the Seahawks got in return because I thought this was a pretty swanky list here. That's getting overused.
Word of the
day. 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a 5th rounder, speaking of Deshaun Watson, Shelby Harris, who my buddy Chris, who's a very good NFL analyst, told me that he's up there with like Max Crosby. He's just very underrated because he got injured. Drew Lock and Noah Fant. I get all that for Russell. You can have 2 Russell Wilsons for all that stuff. Man, are you kidding me? Listen, I don't care how much this helps the Broncos. They're not winning squad anyways. So what? Listen. Shout out to the Seahawks. I don't think they got Drew Lock out of this. They're drafting a quarterback to contend with that guy. This is insane.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think that Seattle Seahawks fans will be excited to hear the quarterback battle between Drew Lock and Geno Smith upcoming in the 20. Yeah. Now, if they do go ahead and draft somebody with now they have what? They have this year's first round pick?
The 9th pick.
Wow, the 9th overall pick. So that could put them in position for a Matt Corral type or
Malik Willis.
Because they're going to have their own pick as well, which I believe is somewhere right around there as well. Because I think they were like 6 and 11 this year. So it's good for Denver. They're looking to answer the call in terms of replacing Peyton Manning, which they haven't done since 2016 or 17, whenever he retired.
Right.
Obviously, they're out on Aaron Rodgers, which we'll get to here in just a little bit. What's that? Yeah, well, you had Andrew Luck. I mean, Andrew Luck replaced him. You're looking to replace Andrew Luck, but yeah, no. I love Russell Wilson. I love everything about his brand. I like the way he plays football.
Love Jesus.
But yeah, you're right. This is an incredible haul for a team that gets better, but they're still not Super Bowl contenders in my mind. Now, let's see what they do in the draft. We'll see what they do and maybe potentially free agency. The big key for me, and I'll take your word on the Shelby Harris, the player.
That's not my word.
Well, I'll take the word of per sources that you have that Shelby Harris is a quality piece to this trade. But honestly, losing Noah Fant, the security blanket for Russell Wilson. The Jimmy Graham, the Gerald Everett, the Will Dissly, the guy who he could always find a way to check down to, and the security blanket. I couldn't think of the word I was looking for, but I'm shocked that he's gone. And I mean, obviously, I don't know if that was the last piece to seal the deal, and if that was just a hey Seattle, hey throw in Noah Fant while you're at it, and Denver's like okay. Then phenomenal. Congrats to John Schneider and the Seattle Seahawks for just getting Noah Fant in a throwaway, type case here in this one. Drew Lock, whatever. Who cares about that? I mean, if he can find new scenery and become a quality quarterback, well, yeah. I mean, that could be it. I can tell you this. We talked about yesterday with the draft and stuff like that. I was so high on Drew Lock. I really thought he was going to be incredible. In the NFL. I really did. Cannon arm at Mizzou. He was a winner. He made his teammates better, and it just hasn't worked in the NFL so far. So we'll see. We'll see what a change of scenery has in store for Drew Lock if he even starts next year. I can't see him not being the starter, at least to begin, even if they do draft a quarterback. But remember what happened with Matt Flynn when he went over, and then they drafted a guy in the 3rd round by the name of Russell Wilson, and the rest is history. So for me. Who got the better end of the deal? It feels like Seattle right now.
Seattle.
I mean, Russell Wilson, if you put Russell Wilson involved with that team, Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, 2 good running backs in Gordon and Javonte Williams, a good defense, a new head coach who's offensive-minded. I mean, it seems like it makes sense. I told you, anybody in the AFC West, is going to have a tough road. But then the more you look at it, like, you can argue that KC may have regressed last year. If that regression starts to either flatten out or continue, they're human. Chargers can't win so far, despite the fact that Justin Herbert has thrown for 95,000 yards in 2 seasons. Still haven't made the playoffs. And then the Raiders are a quality team. Let's call it that.
Is that number 9,500 and you just said 95,000 on accident, or is that like just a really good exaggeration?
Both. He is thrown for about 9,500, and I
That's
exaggerated to
funny.
95,000.
That's good. Three
Yeah.
things to tell you to unpack here. Number one, is Pete Carroll gone?
No.
Okay. Number
I did
two,
say that. I did say that if they traded Russell Wilson, that he would be gone. But
not
I
for this
don't.
haul.
Yeah, he may be gone after this season, but I don't think he'd be fired.
Well, I'm not talking about that. Number
Okay. Okay.
two,
Gotcha. Okay.
have you seen the tight end free agency list? It's pretty stacked. So I think Denver does win a little bit there.
Okay.
Is I think OJ Howard being like one of the worst tight ends available is pretty. There's like 10 of them that are like, I was like, wow. You guys look it up. It's pretty insane. I think Rap Sheet tweeted it out. But
I'm looking it up right now while you're talking.
another thing I was gonna say, I forgot, darn you. Oh, I forgot. But no, this is a I'm talking about the Brooklyn Nets deal. This is that times two. I mean, they really got all. I told you I would give you 2 Russell Wilsons for what they just got, or 1.5 at
So,
least.
so I'm looking at the tight end list in free agency right now, and the names are phenomenal. But your
Oh,
top 3 options are Ertz, Graham, and Rob Gronkowski. I mean, Gronk would be an interesting feat, but Jimmy Graham hasn't done anything since he freaking left New Orleans. It seems he's been all over the place. And Zach Ertz could be interesting. He did
he
have
was good in
700.
Arizona.
He was pretty good when he finally went to Arizona. Zach Ertz could be interesting if he could find him in Denver. But going down the line, Uzama, that could be an interesting one. I mean, Eric Ebron,
Yeah,
Kyle Rudolph, man. Gerald Everett going with Russell Wilson to Denver could be interesting. But I don't know if it's stacked, but there are definitely some options, to replace at tight end for sure. Absolutely. But I think Noah Fant, if I put Noah Fant on this list, I think he's third behind Ertz and Gronk, in my opinion.
you think Gronk still's got it? You think he still wants to play?
I think he's got enough. I don't know if he's going to want to play. That's the question. The question is you're thinking, I'm thinking that Gronk's going to command somewhere in the $7 to $8 million range for a tight end, and I don't think anybody that doesn't have Tom Brady on their roster wants to pay that.